Hello, magic makers. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this reading is for you. A transmission through the Serpent Gate, a page in the Codex, and perhaps a message you were meant to remember. Before we begin, please light the fire and hit the like button. Every like you leave is a torch lit along the spiral road. Every comment is a sigil etched into the vault of echoes. And if this message resonates, consider subscribing and joining our journey through the temple. If there is anything you wish for me to hold in light or carry into the temple with you, a prayer, protection, or intention, speak it below. Now, these readings are not predictions. They are transmissions, and I am merely the messenger. The meaning is yours to uncover. So open the temple within and listen for what echoes back, because the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 10 of Swords. This is someone who is kind of breaking out of a birdcage, breaking out of anything that's been limiting you. A belief system, a paradigm, right? Releasing yourself from those habits, the system, the beliefs, right? The routines that have been keeping you sort of small or keeping you limited or keeping your wings clipped. Yeah? I feel like you're somebody who is noticing, is able to observe. See, this is a sun in Gemini. Astrological association with the card, right? Every card has kind of an astrological significance, yeah? So with this one, with the sun in Gemini, this is your ability to see the bars of the birdcage. Okay? This is you with the ability to see those things that are holding you back, limiting you. The things that are keeping you, preventing you from spreading your wings. Okay? I think you're somebody who is doing a kind of an analysis of your life right now. Okay? I think that you're able to see a lot of what other people ignore. Okay? You're able to pay attention and notice your routines and your habits and those beliefs that you hold on to, the relationships you hold on to, everything, all your patterns. I feel like you've been really paying attention to yourself. You've probably been journaling a lot lately, right? I feel like you've got pages and pages and pages of self-observations. Things that you do and the way that you do them, the way that you have a tendency to perceive certain things or believe certain things. Okay, the way your mind sort of constructs reality for you based on usually our unconscious beliefs, based on our complexes. Okay, I think you're shattering all of those right now. I feel like you're rewriting the blueprint for your life. I feel like your routines are dissolving into something that's more aligned with your true essence and your true spirit. And this is freedom, baby. This is freedom. Let's put this card into a little bit of context, okay? Let's see what's going on here. There's the 9 of Swords. Yeah, a 10 and a 9 of Swords. 4 of Pentacles. 5 of Swords, yeah. Oh, there's the freedom. There's the entire universe. Wide open vistas. Okay? And we have a 3 of Pentacles. Spirit is pulling you into a season of a redesign. Yeah, a redesign. Here we have more air. We have a Prince of Swords. A 6 of Swords. You are finding new routines, new order in the chaos. Your mind is now, because see, that's the thing. Your mind has to construct reality. Okay? But we should have a say in that reality. In the way that our brains and our minds kind of constructs our perception of the world around us, we should have a say in that. Okay? So first we start to kind of observe our reality and why I believe things are the way they are, why I feel the way I feel about the world. Well, let's put the rest of our cards down. Why I feel, more air. Why I feel even more, holy smokes. Why I feel the way I feel about the world. Let me get one sentence out. so that we can begin observing where those beliefs come from, where those feelings come from, why I think the way I do. Okay? And we have to pay attention. I think that you've been doing a heck of a lot of thinking and a lot of writing down. Okay? You might even be talking to a counselor or a therapist or like a psychoanalyst even, right? I feel like you're going really deep. Yeah, really, really deep. You're deconstructing your reality, and then with the Six of Swords, you're reconstructing it. So you're tearing up the old script, and you're rewriting the blueprint. Spirit is rewriting the blueprint for you. That's the Six of Swords, the blueprint. Okay? Spirit's pulling you into that season of redesign. I think that there's been a dream or some kind of a vision or some kind of an insight in your life that feels like an instruction. Okay? Order, you're going to reestablish order in your life once you release the control of all the old stuff. You release its control over you. All those past thoughts and beliefs and patterns and habits. Okay? Those routines, both physical and I think mental, are being dissolved into something more aligned, and new things are being formulated for you. Okay? The pattern, right? The pattern is breaking. That's what we kind of see here. And you're going to be finding more clarity and more structure, and you're going to be able to redesign your life that feels more aligned with you, with spirit, with your true self, your authentic self. Okay. There's a purpose here for you. Okay. I think simplicity right now, in understanding your routines and kind of going back to basics, is going to really allow you to receive more of that divine blueprint about how you're supposed to construct your life. Okay. What I want to do now is draw that hidden key from the codex, the unseen cipher, the one truth yet unrevealed. This is one card pulled at random, a fragment of the codex beyond the known spread. It represents the factor infinite and unknown, what the watchers have not yet allowed us to see. We're going to set it down right over here with big red ant right on top. Now, we won't look at this hidden key until the very end of the transmission. But when we do, it'll bring all the threads together. It'll confirm the prophecy and close the current page of the codex. If you feel the pulse of intuition, if the dove current is whispering to you, tell me what you see. Leave a comment. What do you think the hidden card will reveal? Anyway, let's look around the room. We see one major arcana energy, don't we? The universe. That's it, the world, your reality. What is your reality? This is that untapped power. This is who you could become if you step through the serpent gate. Okay? You could become the star of your own reality, right? You could become the architect, the creator of your own reality. You could be in that cosmic dance. You can experience more of what you were meant to experience, who you were meant to be, and the world that you were meant to live within. Okay? The boundaries, the restrictions are being lifted from you. You're getting a glimpse into what's behind the curtain of your mind, of your perception, of your senses. Okay? I feel like you're a natural mystic. Yeah, shout out to Bob Marley. I feel like you're a natural mystic. So we've got our major arcana card. We don't have any fire whatsoever. There's a hint of fire here in the Knight of Swords because it's fire and air. It's a cardinal air energy. A little bit of fire there, maybe. We have a little bit of fire. Really, this is cool. We've got fire here because of this Mars. Both of these are martial cards, right? Mars, Mars. See, this is the Sun in Gemini, and this is Mars in Gemini. So what I feel like is happening here is that you can see the bars of the cage, and now you're breaking them down, you're tearing them apart. It may be a very difficult and painful process. You know, that self-analysis that leads to that leads to change. Well, this is that card of work. Now you're putting in the work. Mars, it's like You're taking the time to dissolve the old patterns, and then you're taking the time and the effort, the investment, right? Mars here again, to build up the new life, okay? To redesign your life. Putting in the effort to break something apart, right? This is Mars in Gemini. This is a separation. This is the pain of separation. I always call the Nine of Swords the pain of separation, and I usually feel like it's because we're separated from what we truly want. This is a misery multiplier, you know what I mean? But I think in this case really it's the separation of the bars of the cage. You're getting yourself out of there, and it may be a difficult and painful process. You're separating yourself from what's been holding you back so that you can go out there and get the life you want and build the reality that you want and make those decisions with the freedom of knowing. It's kind of like the freedom of choice, you know? When you're in the birdcage, you may think you're free, but the world has been constructed for you by forces outside of the birdcage. Once you're out of the birdcage, you kind of have to make better choices because now it's scary out there, right? But you have that freedom of choice. You have the freedom to choose now intentionally how you want to construct your world, what you want to believe in, what you want to have hold at value, who you want to associate with, you know, the opinions that you want to have, you know, the structures that you want to build, the knowledge that you want to embrace. And I think that it's expanding outwardly. Your life is going to get a lot better. You've got to separate yourself from these old things that I think now you're realizing are making your life worse. Yeah, that pain of separation. And I think it's implying that that's the big obstacle for you now, is to separate yourself from things that do not belong in your life. You're kind of saying goodbye to the birdcage. And we have that represented here in the vertical pathway for your soul. The vertical pathway is your soul ascension. 4 Pentacles, birdcage, structure, order, routines. Don't know how I got them, but here I am. Most of our habits and routines in life, our belief system, our structure of life, we didn't create it consciously. It was created for us when we're growing up. It's created for us by the world around us. It's created by our own unconscious and our own complexes and our own tendencies, our own traumas. Okay? So what we're doing is we're recognizing that, processing all that, so then we can make conscious choices, and we can because we're going to construct a worldview anyway. It's going to happen. The brain's going to do that. As long as you got electrical signals up here, you're going to create a reality. You're a magic maker. That's what the magician does. The magician card is just the nervous system, right? You got to use yours. You got to claim your role as a magic maker. You're doing magic anyway. You might as well do it consciously and have some choice in the matter. Then do it unconsciously and say, gosh, I don't know why I keep getting the same things in life. I don't know why my life seems to always be going down the same roads. It feels like I'm living in a birdcage. It feels like I'm living in a matrix, right? Well, we are. Our perception of reality is a hologram that we've made. This is nothing new. I know it's a lot of talk about it on the YouTubes and stuff lately, but you know, I think that's something that people have known for a long time, that the reality we perceive is not really objective reality. Even when I say on this channel, we got to try to look at the world objectively. That's impossible. It's impossible to do. We can do it as objectively as possible. It's not possible. There's a paradox there. Okay? We're going to create a reality. We might as well do so with some sort of say in the matter, so we can start bending reality the way we want it. We can start molding it and shaping it a little bit. We can nudge the river. Okay? We can, on the spiral road, we can determine kind of what kind of experience we have, what it looks like. So your first card is the station card. This is where you are on the spiral road. You're at an ending. You've come up to the bars of the birdcage on the spiral road and saying, I can't go any further than this. This is the end of the road. No, this isn't the end of the road. This is a steel gate. A steel gate on your path that you're meant to find out how to get through it. Okay. There's a lot more road on the other side of that gate. It's the serpent gate. It's the door to the birdcage. Okay. And this is where you are. And it's either we just say, okay, well, I guess that's the end of the road. It's locked. I guess I can't go through. Yeah, okay, then we just kind of return back to where we were, and we say, wow, I don't know. I don't know what the point of that journey was. If it was a dead end and I just had to turn back and come home, that's weird. Like, what's the point of that? That's no adventure, that was just like a failed mission or something. It was just strange. Or you can do what card 2, the battle card, is advising you. You can put your boots on and you can grab that gate, that serpent gate, and you can pry the sucker open using your force, using that Mars energy. You can get mad. You can get fired up. And maybe it really is the reason why we don't have any fire here. We need that fire. Maybe all your fire, all your attention, all your effort in life right now is aimed at breaking open this birdcage, getting the heck out of this thing. Okay? The birdcage might be something very specific for you. It might be a particular job or a relationship or a friendship or a living situation that you need to get out of. Okay? Staying in the birdcage is only going to multiply your misery. But breaking open the gate, breaking open the bars of the birdcage and squeezing yourself through might hurt. You're pulling the Band-Aid off. It's gonna hurt. You got those little hairs. It's gonna hurt. Okay. But this reading is really about you going forward. But just know that this is a card of pain. It's a card that's gonna hurt, right? And to me, it's the pain of separation. One, it's that pain, that fear, okay, of leaving what is familiar and comfortable behind. That worldview that we had, that birdcage, living in the birdcage was actually kind of nice. Okay? It was actually kind of nice. We had food, water. It was pretty warm. Someone come in and fill up the seed bowl. I had fresh, wood shavings at the bottom. It was nice. Leaving that behind is going to be uncomfortable. So we know that, right now, this is you in the birdcage. There are bars around the edges that are preventing you from seeing what the heck else is out there. To seeing any other type of reality. What is it that keeps repeating in your life? Like what is the belief that you hold about the universe that keeps getting reinforced and reified and confirmed by the universe? That the universe is a hostile and painful place, that the universe is miserable, that existence is suffering. If that's what we believe, that's what our brain will construct. And that's the reality that we will witness. And we'll say, see, I believe that the universe was misery and pain and suffering, and guess what? I stepped outside, pain, misery, suffering. Told ya. That's how the brain works, right? So we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we keep seeing? What is that we keep witnessing in the universe? And how do we kind of relate that back to our own belief about the universe? And how are we getting that kind of confirmation bias? Yeah. So that's kind of your battle position here. The challenge is the pain of getting out of the birdcage, separating yourself from the things that, aren't meant to be in your life anymore, and you've recognized those things. You've seen it, right? You have that sun in Gemini. You've done that work to understand what some of those things are, whether they are beliefs, values, relationships, environments, or habits, or routines, okay? The battle is then to separate yourself from those things. Okay. The battle is also for you to be aware that your perception of reality is going to confirm that reality. It's going to be reinforced by your perception. Okay? You don't want a misery multiplier. You want a happiness multiplier, right? You want a 9 of cups, not a 9 of swords. So I think the pain here is kind of this is what we're expecting. Because we expect it, because we believe this, that's what we're going to continue to get. This is also the realization that the birdcage, or those elements that we call the birdcage, have been preventing you from really uniting with the life that's meant for you, with the plan that Spirit really has for you. Okay? Your structure is being rebuilt for a purpose, and you have to unite with that purpose. You want to come into more alignment, not less alignment. Okay? We've got to let go of some things. Now, beneath the surface, your soul position, okay? This is what your soul knows, even if you've forgotten. And this is that one that you have the power to change. That you hold the power. You hold the keys to the bird cage. You didn't know it. Okay? And it's also that card of routines and habits and foundations, okay? In a way, it's kind of Spirit's telling you to kind of go back to the basics. Make things as simple as possible. Go back to kind of like, bare minimum in your life. To understand what's really essential. To understand what you really truly believe in. What are your core beliefs? What are the things that you really understand that you need in life? Water, shelter, food, fire, right? Basics. Is that it? Is that a life? Maybe that's what you get in the birdcage. Water, shelter, food, and warmth, But is it enough warmth? What about love? What about connection? What about purpose? What about intimacy? We don't see any water energy here at all, do we? I can't even squeeze any water out of any of these cards. There's no water anywhere. I mean, there's maybe Venus in over here in the 5 of Swords, a little bit of Venus energy, a little bit of moon energy over here. But see, these are cards of doubt now. The moon energy saying, I don't trust my intuition. The Venus energy saying, I wonder why I'm unlovable. I wonder why I don't have intimacy. I wonder why I don't have friends. Okay. So in some sense, this is the doubting, or this is the expectation that we won't have that Venus love, or we don't have this moon intuition. See, what is the 7 of Swords? But the intuition is there, but the mind has too much noise. The mind is doubting and poking holes in the intuition, and we're not trusting our intuition. You don't trust your intuition, and you don't trust love, or you don't believe in love. Okay. So as in the soul position, this is the birdcage. Those are those routines. Do one thing for me sometime today or this week. Take one drawer, one shelf, one little space, okay? Clean it up and declare it a holy place. Okay? Believe that it is a holy place and that it has power, it has magic. Believe that it is special. Believe that it is different than every other drawer in your dresser or table in your house or a shelf in the cupboard. It doesn't matter what it is. Believe that it is the holiest place in your house or in your car or whatever. It doesn't matter. And then just do that. Just hold that belief every time you pass by. Acknowledge it. If you want to put something beautiful in that space, do it. Keep that space holy. Okay? And just see how you feel about it after a few days. That's all. Very simple. Anyway, so the 4 of Pentacles is that kind of return to simplicity. It is the breaking down of patterns, and it is the kind of stalking of your own routines. Okay, so start, I guess I'm giving you a lot of homework. Start brushing your teeth with the other hand. Start tying your shoes, starting with the other foot. Okay? Do things a little bit differently than you've always done them. When you wake up in the morning, your mind automatically starts constructing your reality for you. You start doing the same thing, making the same groans, oh, my back. You start doing the same movements. You kind of start thinking the same thoughts. You go and you start trying to do the same activities. Do something different. Do something different. You know what my daughter and I started doing it now, she's 5. As soon as we wake up in the morning, automatically tickle fight. First thing we do. Sometimes she wakes me up with a tickle, which is startling for me. She goes right for my neck, right below the beard, very ticklish. And it's changed our whole belief about the day, And it's not just, oh gosh, here we go, we're so tired, gotta get up. It's just like, it's fun, it's exciting, and well, maybe because the blood's pumping, right? And we're kind of breathing better. We're taking in more oxygen because we're in that tickle fight mode, But anyway, just alter some of your habits. Break some of your patterns. Release the need to have everything in an orderly fashion, everything in the same way it's always been done, and just kind of like to have, wake up at 6:05, I go to the bathroom, 6:10, I get my hot water, my tea, 6:11, I make the coffee, it doesn't have to be that structured. Well, maybe you're saying, well, no, yeah, it does. Try it the other way, okay? Maybe we break down some of those old routines. We build up better ones that feel like they're putting us on the right track. These two cards, these two positions in the Dove and Serpent spread are very connected. And this is order and routine. This is habit and routine, structure, organization, a blueprint, a plan that's repeatable. Okay? 4 and a 6, lovely. But what else do we have? We have 5, 9, 7. Sometimes those routines and habits and plans can be the 10, a stagnant, desiccated, pointless birdcage, dry hole. There's no nourishment here. Okay, so what do? You shake things up. You have even number, even number, even number. And even this is basically an even number. It's a fixed air energy. Fixed, 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 fixed. Okay, take away those. Take away the fixed stuff. What do you have? You have chaos. You have disruption. You have pain. You have separation. You have movement. You have a realigning of things. You have new choices to make. There's every moment we're free to choose what we want to do. This is all about the breaking down of the routines and then putting all these back. Building your life and your structure back up. Hopefully this time we'll have a 9 and a 10 of cups instead of a 9 and a 10 of swords. That it won't be a dry hole, it'll be an oasis. That it won't be the pain of separation, it will be the joy of union. First, we have to tear down all these habits of both physical habits and mental habits, habits of the heart, belief systems, paradigms, that sort of thing, okay? Now, in the background, I know I'm kind of rambling today. A lot of swords cards, you can expect me to have a lot of words. The 5 of swords in the background, this is the chain. This is the old story. This is the thing that you've been telling yourself for years. And that's why your reality looks the way it has. I'm not blaming you. Blaming our brain. It's just the way we are as human beings. The things that we tell ourselves over and over and over again, to the point where it's become unconscious. I'm not even aware that I believe those things anymore. That's why my reality looks the way it does. It doesn't mean that you're the cause of all your pain and suffering in life. No. You're not the reason people treat you poorly. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is that we, over time, convince ourselves that life can't be anything other than what it is. Okay? We sometimes forget that we have the power to change. If we change the way we think, we'll change the reality. The physical form of life will follow what the thoughts are dictating. What the mind formulates, the body creates. Okay? That's why fire, water, air, and earth. Air and earth are usually how it works. Air and earth. I'm thinking a certain way, I'm believing a certain thing, I'm involved in some kind of a paradigm or a system, and that's my physical reality. The physical reality, the pentacles, will build something for you, like a potter at a wheel. Will build you some little thing. Will build you I don't know, like a vase or something. You know, I don't know, what do people build in ceramics class these days? A little bowl. We'll bring you the bowl and say, look, I made this for you. And then you'll think, I don't want that. Why'd you make that? I didn't ask for that. But the body said, yeah, this is what you believe in. This is what's always going on inside your mind. So this is what I brought you. Because the body will follow the mind. Okay? And if we're not in control of that mind, if we don't know what that mind is doing under the surface, under the covers, are in our unconscious, then we don't see the connection. We don't know, why does life keep creating the same things for me? It's not what I want consciously, but it may be what you believe unconsciously. Okay? Now the thing is, if we're just existing from the mind to the body, mind to the body, mind to the body, we're not connected with our spirit, with our heart, and with our creative will. We need the fire and the water, because right now you're just operating from air and earth. And the air is thinking, geez, why does the world keep giving me what it does? I don't know why this keeps happening to me. Okay? There's an unconscious belief system at play. The chain that is binding you. The ancient story, the inherited pattern, the karmic weight. This is what we have to break. This maybe is, with the Venus energy, the saying that you don't believe in love, you don't trust your heart, you don't trust love. You're cut off from your heart, cut off from what you really want, or cut off from your belief that life could get better, cut off from your belief that life could be good, it could be happy, that this path, this journey through life doesn't have to be all suffering. Okay. And the Five of Swords is kind of like that unconscious pattern, that unconscious belief that that keeps running. And then the pentacles, the earth, the physical world, keeps giving us that product, thinking that's what we ordered. We got to get in touch with the fire and the water to sort out some of this stuff. And I think that's what you're doing with the Mars energy here. The Mars energy is saying, okay, I'm done. I've had enough of that. The universe card here at the top, this is your giant. The untapped power, this is who you can become. Infinite. You can be someone who partakes in the entire universe. A traveler of both time and space. Yeah. Someone who's connected with the larger universe, the cosmos, the reality, actual reality. Okay. Reconnecting with that infinite part of yourself. Yeah. Because this is our little island of consciousness. This is our reality as we perceive it. This is everything else that can never possibly be known until it goes through the heart and the mind and becomes a physical reality for us. This is infinite possibilities. Those possibilities are only realized through the heart and the mind, the will, through your soul. Changing your reality. You can become a master of the universe. Okay? You have the power, this is the untapped power for you to create your personal reality. You can tear down and restructure your personal world, your tonal. The Three of Pentacles is you doing exactly that. This is the image in the mirror of becoming. This is your ideal form. Mars in Capricorn, somebody who is putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, doing the work. Realigning reality, constructing reality. Okay? So it's not just about getting rid of the programming or the thought patterns or the routines or the habits, but it's about doing the intentional work of building up new ones that resonate with us, building up new ones that feel aligned, that feel sacred. Okay? Doing the work to construct that new reality. The blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah. Now, Path of the Serpent, by the way, subscribe if you haven't yet. Let me know if this is resonating with you. As your general energy, as the persona, you've got the Prince of Swords, a very fixed air energy, someone who is kind of stubborn in what they believe, fixed in their mind, believes the world is a certain way and won't budge, inflexible, not fluid, kind of saying that your assemblage point is fixed. Your belief in the world is static. Okay? And things that don't match your reality are gone. They're rejected automatically. Below the threshold of consciousness, you're not doing it on purpose. You believe the world is suffering, so then only things that validate that belief are allowed into your mind. All the love, all the kindness that's out there, you don't perceive it. The mind rejects it. And again, you're not doing it on purpose, right? That's what we have to shift. All of us, not just Virgos, everybody. This should have been a collective reading. Maybe you share it with some other people that might need to see it, even if they're not Virgos. It doesn't have to be Virgo, okay? The zodiac sign readings are just a convenient form for these messages, these transmissions to take. So the idea here is that you need to have a very fluid belief. This is kind of like, this is your subjective experience. You know, I don't like the world being full of suffering, but I can't change it. I'm in a bird cage. I'm stuck. I'm trapped. This is other people that, you know, the objective looking at you kind of says, well, you're holding on to those core beliefs too tightly, and you need to be less rigid and fixed and more fluid. Okay? This is how you perceive yourself, and this is how you kind of really are. Okay? But this implies that we can recognize this and we can become more fluid. And that's what we're doing with all the odd numbers, right? We're taking the odd numbers, which are the active cards. The odd numbers are functions. The even numbers are solid states of being, solid beliefs, fixed, right? Fixed. The odd numbers are volatile. They're moving energies. Okay, 3, moving. Okay, this is habits and routines that are stagnant. Now they're being shaken up, they're being reformulated and realigned. Okay, this is the bars of the bird cage. It's not going anywhere. Now you're destroying the bird cage. Okay, this is now a new blueprint for your reality. And this is the way that our mind, this really is the way our mind will take all the noise of our perception, all the data that comes in through our senses. We pull in like, a million bits of data every second, right? Through our senses. What the mind does then is stitches it all together, fills in the gaps, associates it with things from our past that we've experienced in order to say, oh, I found a match. It's like that memory game. I found a match. That must be okay. Now it makes sense. Whew. Okay? We've been able to, in the static of the universe, we've been able to formulate some kind of coherent reality that we can all agree on. Okay, now I feel sane. Okay? We all need to have some kind of a blueprint or a framework to make sense. Otherwise, we'd be lost in the chaos. We wouldn't be able to function. We cannot perceive reality as it is. It would overwhelm us. We're not really wired to experience it that way. Mystically, maybe, yeah. But not through our senses, not in terms of our construction of our worldview or of our personal reality. So our brains make sense of the chaos, fills in the gaps from things that we've already experienced. And I think sometimes if we're too rigid, if the data doesn't fit what we were expecting, we say, well, I'm going to conveniently ignore that one because it doesn't fit my picture. It doesn't fit what I'm expecting to see. You're expecting to see misery, and you get a bunch of love. You're thinking, wait a minute, that doesn't fit. Okay, I'll push that one outside. I'll forget about that one. I won't see that one because things need to make sense. Okay. Very often we like things to make some sort of sense. We like there to be some sort of predictability or structure to our world, you know. And I think what you're doing is you're realizing that you need to start constructing this a little bit more intentionally. Not letting all those memories from the past, your past experiences, habits, traumas, your upbringing, to predict and expect the world to be a certain way. You're freeing yourself from that expectation of the world so you can begin forming new beliefs and choosing what you want to believe about the world, so that then your brain can confirm that bias. You know, I'm biased toward the world being beautiful and fun and loving and supportive, and then my brain's going to figure out a way to make that reality. Okay, and maybe I'm simplifying things too much, but anyway, the Seven of Swords here in the Mirage. The Mirage is the illusion. The obstacle, right, is that that you are incapable of doing that. Okay, the lie here is that you're powerless against your own thoughts. Okay, this is a card of doubt. This is a card of distraction. Okay, this is a card of criticism. This is a card of, every time I try to formulate a thought, there are 6 other thoughts that come in and try to counteract what I'm doing. And I'm always parrying these other rogue thoughts, But kind of what this card is about for you is about you being willing to criticize your own beliefs, scrutinize your own habits and routines. This is a card of you stalking yourself in the Don Juan Carlos Castaneda Toltec path kind of way, paying attention to what you're doing when you don't think you're paying attention. If you could spy on yourself, this is that card. Because then you're noticing, wow, yeah, I set myself up like that. That's how I always do things. That's how I always believe, and that's what I always think. That's what I expect. And then I'm looking for things that confirm my expectations so I can say, I was right. The world makes sense now. We have to be willing to scrutinize, criticize ourselves in a healthy way so that we can move that assemblage point, so that we can tear down that structure and we can build up a structure that feels better for us, that works better for us, that maybe is a little bit more open, a little bit more, feels more whole to me. Okay. Now, at the end here, the Destiny card is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is free to make decisions. You've grown your wings. This is like a dragonfly has grown its wings back. In the birdcage, your wings are clipped, which means that your decisions are very predictable. Okay? You don't have freedom of choice. You're in the birdcage. You can choose a few different things. Seeds, water, sleeping. Maybe you can fly around a little bit. That's about it, You've grown your wings now, which means you're outside the birdcage. You can make any choice you want. Your choices are not going to be dictated by your history, your past, your trauma, your tendency, your upbringing, your unconscious beliefs about the world, your paradigm. Okay? That demiurgic force that is saying this is reality, and this you're a prisoner in that reality. Okay? You've grown your wings. You have freedom of choice. You're going to construct a reality, and you have to. But now you have to do it consciously. Now you're making choices in real time every moment of every day because you're aware. Now this is an ongoing process. You're never fully free of the birdcage. Because what happens? You get out of the birdcage, you spread your wings, start flying, and then bang, right into another birdcage. It's birdcages all the way out, right? Because the mind needs a birdcage, otherwise we would go insane. You get out of one birdcage, it's freedom for a while, and you keep flying outward, eventually you're going to bump into another bird cage. Okay? It's nested bird cage, bird cages all the way out. Yeah. Let's look at our mystery card. This mystery card, I don't know what it will be. Maybe the Empress, maybe the 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups. What's your prediction? Put it down in the comments. Let's see. 5 of Pentacles. So we got the 4, we got the 5, yeah. This is really, to me, feels like you're shaking up those routines. Feels like you're getting out of the habits. That as soon as you realize that you're in a routine or you're in a habit or a program, what you do is do something else. You know, do something to interrupt that routine. It's kind of like getting outside the comfort zone. Get outside, outside the bird. Well, this card has so many different layers to it. Outside the bird cage, life is more difficult. Okay, it's safe in the bird cage. Someone comes along, gives you the bird seed, gives you the water, and changes your wood shavings or whatever. The sawdust, I don't know. The newspaper at the bottom of the cage, And so it's comfortable, relatively so. It's predictable. Okay, it's routine. It feels safe. Outside the bird cage, though, it's dangerous. Look at that, it's snowing. You're like limping, we got crutches. I don't know what's going on here. It's hardship. It's hardship. And so in a way, the choice is yours. I like my bird cage. I'm staying in it. I don't care. Or you're saying, I'm willing to go outside and walk 2 miles uphill both ways in the snow to school, and do things the hard way, but in a way that feels more free, feels more real, feels more authentic. Okay, it's magic. This is mysticism. You don't have to be the magician. You don't have to consciously be the magician, I guess, if you don't want to be. You don't have to be a magic maker. Because once you leave the birdcage, you go through the serpent gate, you're on the spiral road. The spiral road is where you have to be responsible for your choices. You have to be awake. You have freedom of choice now. Okay? And I think you're going to choose to go through the gate, become a magic maker, and walk the spiral road. And now what we're going to do is continue this transmission beyond the gate. In the extended reading, we'll cast an I Ching hexagram, we'll draw from the oracles, and we'll open a new cluster of keys from the codex. If you feel called to continue, there is a link in the corner, and there's one down below the video, up here and down here. All right, the path is open for you. New transmissions for Virgo Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe if you haven't yet. It will align your signal with the dove current and ensure that your next page in the codex will find you. Leave a comment and let me know where along the spiral road you're watching from. It helps us to map the resonance of the temple. I want you to remember you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. The codex reveals itself through you. I thank you. I love you. And we are all walking this path together.